Good morning. I want to throw something quick and simple out there. Just a thought about motivation. There are two sources of motivation, two ways to keep yourself going. The two ways that you find the will to get up in the morning. That is your why. You know, a lot of times in business or in a lot of things, they talk about your why, and they may use different terminology, but there's really only two whys. They all fit very well into one category, except for another one. People might think there's a lot of different reasons that keep you going, keep you consistent, keep you passionate, but there's only two. There is Yahweh and your relationship with Him, and the reason that He put you on earth, and then there's everything else. And so, if you look at your life honestly, and He is not first, if you are not seeking first His kingdom and His righteousness, if He is not your God, it's something else, and it will destroy you. And it may not, you may not feel destroyed. You may not understand the hardships you go through, and when you go to, to find your stride and to motivate yourself, if prayer has no part of that, if reading the scripture has no part of that, if you can get yourself up and going and revived when you're down, without anything that has anything to do with Him, seeking Him, meditating on His law. I'm not talking about the law of Moses. I'm not talking about the 10 Commandments, but on the law as written in Scripture, the whole of Scripture, just meaning lawfulness, not lawlessness. These sort of things. If your life revolves around anything that isn't exactly Him, not church. Church is good, but church revolves around Him. Your life can't revolve around something that revolves around Him. It'll be messed up if it does. Not your job, not your passions and your purpose in life. We got to be very careful to worship the Creator and not the creation. There's all sorts of good things that He gives us in our life, but our lives can't revolve around that. So it's just something to carefully consider. It's something to really pay attention to and make sure, because a lot of times we get knocked down not because we're evil, although possibly because we're evil, and it is evil in a way, but it's not, it's not that we meant to do wrong. Sometimes we get knocked down because the Father's like, hey, remember me? And it's not because He's being spiteful towards you. It's not because He's selfish. It's not because, He's righteous and just has a right to do it. It's because He loves you and He wants you to, to see Him for who He is and to really seek Him and to have that good relationship with Him. And so He loves you enough to take the things out of the way that are distracting you. And if you try to focus on how to get those things back, or, day to day, you're just focused on things that just aren't Him, your life is going to be a mess in some way, and it's not going to have the focus it's supposed to have. Even if you seek all the good things that He has for you, even if you seek to be a good person and to live a godly life, but you don't seek Him, you don't seek that relationship with Him and love Him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, it doesn't matter if you love your neighbor as yourself. And I don't know how you're ever even going to do that. You'll start living by your own rules and say, well, I'm going to be a good person, all this blah, blah, blah. I understand, I get it. And I can tell you, from my own life and from watching countless other lives and giving it lots of time and attention to understand life, and the Scripture supports this entirely. This is true and trustworthy. Listen to it. all of that doesn't work without him. He who has an ear, let him hear what his Spirit is saying to the churches and to all people. Shalom, shalom.
We'd love to hear from you. Please write to us at disciplesofcana@gmail.com.